You can.
Welcome to a Sunday night edition of Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports. No Kyle tonight, no Terry, and no Terry's on his own podcast tonight. Okay.
Terry's only been on once, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's doing a heck of a job on the other podcast tonight.
No Rick.
No Rick either.
Rick
He's
is
usually our statistician.
Rick is a key guy you should have mentioned. So
yeah.
But he's
all right, Rick. Sorry if we didn't mention you, but get your butt on here.
Doesn't he have his daughter on Sunday nights or something? He's usually Wednesday nights is his
Oh, okay. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
But I thought he might be on. He was talking about the WNBA a lot, so maybe we'll do that Wednesday or something. I
don't know. We'll talk about what I got set up tonight. I've set this up.
Of course.
Yeah. All righty. The first thing we got to do, though, I got to run our new commercial for Cocaine Coffee. Going to take over the Starbucks of the world. Alrighty, cocainecoffee.com and use promo code Villains15 for 15% off your order. Now that I'm moved, I'm going to get my order in here if they got my stuff back in stock. The only three things I was interested in, all three were out of stock. So, but that doesn't mean they might have it back in stock for you guys. You never know, right? But yeah, we are part of the Villains Network. I should get a sign up there that lets everybody know that we are part of the Villains Network. And we're one of two Hawkeye shows on there. I mean, and right now they're going, one of them's live called the Golden Broom Podcast. They're predicting various leagues finishes. And so I predicted that Las Vegas would win the Mountain West this year, and North Dakota State will come in a close second. Air Force third.
I thought the Broom podcast was baseball.
It is, but it also after baseball season continues on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but anyway, they're currently live, as is, believe it or not, Mark Rogers and somebody else is live with Hawkeye Football talking about the QB battle is live. And also live is two guys from the Iowa Everywhere Network. Those are two shows that never come on live on Sunday night. What are they doing on Sunday Night Live tonight?
Well, I predict that now that Trent Condon has more time, he's been doing a podcast pretty much every day. So
Well,
doing
he
a
always
good job.
has on Lockdown Hawkeyes.
I
He's
don't
always done
really.
one every day.
I don't know. I don't remember that, but he does a good job, and more power to him. So
Yeah, I can't believe it that that iHeart threw away money because Trent Condon bought his 2 hours on that radio station.
and I would think that his show, him and Mr. Miller were a pretty good draw, for the
Mr.
for the
Miller,
radio.
Ken Miller, he
Mhm.
retired.
Yeah.
But I can't believe that iHeart told Trent that they didn't want his money. He's no longer welcome on the network, all because of the comments he made about his friends being fired or laid off, however you want to put it. But it's fired to me.
His comments were not very bad at all.
That's what I'm hearing. I haven't found the comments. I went looking for them, but I heard they were pretty respectful.
I know, and I know Tom Kakert. He said, I won't put words in Tom's mouth, but that's what he said, that was ridiculous and pretty touchy. Some of these rich people that own big things are pretty touchy. That's my opinion. So
yes, they are. And so anyway, so
where are you starting tonight, there? Oh,
well,
we got to subscribe, right? And Mike and like and all that.
Yeah, we got a boy. Is Fever maybe playing better without CC? Well, I think in the last game I thought they looked really good without CC. In another game that she missed this year, I thought the team played really well without CC. Caitlin Clark. Are they playing tonight? It's Sunday. I think they're supposed to play tonight. Are they playing?
I watched first half. It's halftime.
What's the score?
It's like Indiana's ahead by 1, I think. Asia ain't playing for the other team. And yeah, basketball, it looks more fluid when CC ain't in there because there's nobody to beat up. There's nobody on the. It's so funny, Caitlin's about the only player in the whole damn league they double team, and as soon as she gets over your half court and bump and all that stuff. But we'll get into that later probably. But
well, we might as well now while we're here, while we're talking about it. Is she playing tonight?
Caitlin ain't playing. She announced a couple days ago she wasn't playing tonight.
So is her back really that bad?
Well, she'd be playing if it wasn't.
See, the league's getting what they want. They're beating her up really bad, and they get her out of the game. Yeah. If I were her, I would just quit, start my own league, and see who wants to go with her.
I don't know. I said 2 or 3 months ago when the league started this season. That was 2 months ago, right? About the 1st of May.
About the middle of May.
Yeah, the WNBA is the worst run league in all of organized sports, probably in the world, and I included Little League, Babe Ruth leagues, all of them.
Yeah, that commissioner they got has no backbone. She could care less, as long as she collects her paycheck. She's so scared to speak out against the coaches and what the coaches and the players are doing. They got her wrapped around her little finger, just like Kirk had Barter wrapped around his fingers. Yeah, I just want to see what I just tested you. I want to see what you're gonna say.
Mr. Pessimist, Mr. Kirk hater arises again.
I'm not really saying I'm a Kirk hater.
Well, you got to know that there's no way that you could consciously. I know it ain't your subconscious. You couldn't consciously poke at Kirk every week, and not be one of them guys, So
no, I'm not really poking. It's just that it's true. You have to admit that Kirk owned Barta.
I don't know what that means.
Well, let's put it this way: if Barta had stayed,
Kirk not supposed to get new contracts, or
if Barta had stayed, Brian would have never been fired. We wouldn't have Tim Lester today.
I don't believe
That's
that.
my point. That's my point.
I don't believe that.
I do.
I,
I do because Kirk tried to
President,
intimidate
President, President Wilson got rid of Brian Ferentz. It didn't have nothing to do with any athletic director.
So you're saying she was the scapegoat?
I don't think there was any scapegoat. I think it was a good decision.
Okay. All righty. So, long as we're on the WNBA, let's finish that topic and we can move on to some real Hawkeye stuff. So Caitlin was voted a starter in the All-Star game. I noticed that Reese was not, Angel Reese. But Paige Beckers was, and it looks like that Paige Beckers and Caitlin are starting together in the guard court.
Are they on the same team?
They must be, because the way they set it up, they pictured the first five and then the second five.
Well, there's two starting fives.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
The first five were together. I mean, Paige Becker and Caitlin and Boston were all on one group of five, and then the next group of five included other girls.
Last year, the two top vote getters, which this year the two top vote getters are Paige and Caitlin.
Okay.
Last year, they had them two each one. I think who was Caitlin's? Who was the other captain? Was it Collier? Who was it? I don't know. But anyway, they picked them as captains and they chose their teams.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it this year. I haven't seen anything about it. But
yeah, they just said that the five starters were these girls and the other five starters were these girls. So, and the thing is if I read it right, Caitlin and Boston are playing on one team, and Kelsey Mitchell's playing on the other team.
That's knowledge I don't know. So
okay, well, I don't have that knowledge either. But I mean, I don't even know when the All-Star game is.
Well, it's the 24th or 5th of July.
Okay, well, hopefully Caitlin's back to playing by then. I mean, we've probably in the last 2 years, she has played less than she has actually played. And is her whole career going to be injury riddled? Because if the league don't start protecting her, so her fans can see her play, because she is the voice. She is the star. She's the one they're all coming to see. You know, like it or not, the rest of the league, she got you pay raises. She got you on chartered airplane flights. You don't have to ride in the back of a commercial flight anymore. She's getting you what you guys always wanted, and she's getting you more recognition. And everywhere Caitlin's team goes when she's playing, their arenas are selling out or close to sellouts. And so my point is, thank you. Get on your knees and bow to her and thank her for helping you get what you've always been wanting in this league. End of story. What are your thoughts?
I just, if somebody wants to pretty much echo my thoughts, you can just go listen to Scott Docterman on the Legends and Listeners show. He gave a long soliloquy on everything that Caitlin did for this league, this commissioner, and all the things that, the commissioner hates to even mention Caitlin.
Won't even call her by name. It says that she should be lucky, that she's the lucky one, not the league.
Yeah, I don't like it when people don't. I don't like it when people treat other people wrongly. You know that, Dean, and it bothers me, and I'm sure it bothers Caitlin, but anyway, and it goes down to the officials first.
Well, I was reading somewhere. Now, I don't know how true this was. It could have been on TikTok. It could have been on Reels. Could have been on YouTube. That these referees aren't even professional referees. They actually have real daytime jobs somewhere else. And so that this is just more of a hobby. That's why they don't get paid much.
Yeah.
But I think these referees need to be held accountable. I mean, like I said before, not even the NBA is this rough. Could you imagine them doing that to Kobe Bryant when he was still playing? What they do to Caitlin
I remember when they did it.
or LeBron James, or Larry
I've
Bird,
been,
Magic Johnson.
I'm old enough to remember when they did that. It was that rough in the NBA when the Pistons would throw Larry Bird hard down on the hardwood floor, and Michael Jordan just tried killing him whenever he went to the hoop. But
I heard Chicago and Detroit really didn't get along that well. Those were some knockout, drag out Donniebrooks.
well, the Celtics and the Pistons would get in fist fights about every game. But back then in the NBA, if you got in a fist fight, you didn't even get thrown out of a game or anything, But the NBA rightfully changed the rules that no, you cannot do this. This is ruining the game, and they changed it. So
Okay.
the WNBA has got to do the same thing. Some people say it's race. It's not race. Some people say it's about uh, living a different life, whether they're gay or not. It's not about that. It's about jealousy. It's
Absolutely.
there's been plenty of white stars in SQ, and Brianna Stewart's probably won a couple MVPs and a bunch of championships, and Brianna Stewart, and they never got beat up. It's just they did not like it that this gal come into the league and she was the face of the league, and all these veterans didn't like it.
Well, plus she had all that. She had all those endorsement deals, probably making her the richest player in the league.
Well, without a doubt, these women like Brittany Griner and people like that, and I've never seen Brittany say anything bad about Caitlin or treat her bad or anything, But I'm just saying that Brittany Griner and a lot of these players would go overseas to make their money during the off seasons when they made their money. It's like there's girls that made $1 million going playing in China and Russia and places like that. So I don't know what Caitlin would. I don't know how much money Caitlin would get if she went and played in China or something. It'd be a lot more than the maximum contract in the WNBA, which isn't it $2 million now or something?
Yeah.
And
Caitlin I do know
way more than that, and she'd sell a hell of a lot of sneakers in China.
Yeah.
So
I do know that the ladies who don't make the WNBA, who go overseas, are really happy that they did. So they must be making pretty good money overseas.
Yeah, but they were paying that $1 million years ago in China and overseas. Those were the stars of the WNBA that were playing in the WNBA, but they were only making 70, 80, 100,000.
So they would supplement their income by going overseas.
Yeah, the WNBA seasons was always very short. So
it's expanding and expanding. Okay.
But it's terrible the way Caitlin's treated, and I just wish everybody was treated the same and just quit this mess from the top on down.
Alrighty. Going to some real Hawkeye. We got Danny Carnegie playing on the 3-on-3 USA team. Have they started playing games yet? Because I would love to watch her play.
I know she was posting pictures from over there. I think they are.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
I wonder if they're on TV at all, if we could get those games. Probably with the World Cup going up.
Everything's on YouTube, so I'm sure it can be found. So
yeah, that would be fun to watch one of our own. I mean, the fact that she made the team and she was first team, Big East, right? Or SEC. Can't remember. SEC.
SEC.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait till she gets there. She might make a bigger impact than Caitlin did. Or Lucy.
Okay. I can't wait for her to get back to Iowa City so she can start acclimating with her teammates. So
Yeah. Well, she was here already for a little while before she left. The one that hasn't come to Iowa City yet is the girl from Sweden. She's still playing on the Sweden team.
yep, and that'll last right up until about time classes start, I think.
Yeah, that's going to hurt her and maybe set her back a little bit.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Depends on how good she is and how bad our backups are on this team. I don't think we're very deep.
Yeah.
I guess time will tell. But.
Yeah. And I see Jan lost out on another decent recruit to Nebraska.
And she was a local Nebraska girl, so
I know it.
Yeah.
I know she was, but still, you can always pull them out of that state. It just makes you wonder, what is that coach saying, or what are they paying her? You know,
I was never had a huge amount of Nebraska girls. Taylor McCabe, I don't know who else, but you can get them out of Council Bluffs. But boy, if it says NE after their town, them Nebraska people, they're very loyal, you know.
Yeah. And I saw something about Luca Garza. What's going on with him? I saw a glimpse. I can't remember what I read on that.
I don't know. I don't know anything. Utah's playing on a national team right now. Seen Peyton Sandiford got cut, but he's still on their G League roster.
Yeah, he's Sturts and the name I forgot already. Dix are all playing on Summer League for the Thunder. I can't wait to watch that a little bit. Three Hawkeyes out there. Although is Dix really a Hawkeye anymore?
I think he's always a Hawkeye. He just left to go be close to his dying mother. So,
but the nice thing about it is that him and Sanford were teammates at Iowa. So,
I've seen a few highlights of Sturts playing yesterday with him. So,
okay, so the Summer League has already started.
Yeah, Sturts.
God, I gotta find these games, dude.
Sturts is made for the NBA. He's ridiculous passer and shooter, and
did he do well?
Good defensive player. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to a little football talk. Okay, Athlon Magazine came out with the preseason All-Americas and preseason Big Ten. They've got Cade Pieper on the first team All-American, Trevor Locke as the second team All-American, and Zach Lutmer, fourth team All-American, and all three of those are first team All Big Ten. Any surprises there for you?
No. I think by the end of the season, Vanami will be one of the 3 or 4 nominees for the Mackey Award. Okay. So he'll be up there too. But Pieper, it was like I seen one list, one All-American team had him as a guard. And then the last one that came out where he was the only member, I think it was Walter Camp, they rightly had him at center as a So
that's what he's going to be this year. We already know that. That's his job this year. He's been kind of a backup center for most of his career.
That's because Kirk, all the NFL scouts and Kirk and Barnett know that his future in the NFL is as a center, and he's literally maybe he will have the best measurables of any center that we've sent. His
arms are long enough.
His arms are longer. he's like, and he's 6'4", and so the only center we've ever had that was taller, I think, is that James Daniels was 6'5", but he wasn't near as good as center. as Pieper, Jones, and Linderbaum.
Yeah, but we don't speak of James Daniels anymore since he doesn't recognize the Hawkeyes as his school anymore.
Well, he comes back to Iowa City and visits Kirk all the time. So
does he? Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Why is he promoting his high school? Why is he promoting his high school instead of his college?
I don't know. Okay. He obviously did not like Doyle. He's the one that pretty much got Doyle fired.
Oh yeah, because he broke the news first.
Well, he's the one that actually went in and talked to Kirk about it. And Kirk goes, "What?" and he goes, "Yes." And that's what really got it going, is he went to Kirk. Everybody else went someplace else, go talk to Bart or go talk to, or not talk to anybody, But
they went to lawyers after they heard what James Daniels said. Okay. All righty. So we've got Vanami making second team all Big Ten. Hawthorne, Deshaun Lee, and Kamari Moulton all make fourth team all Big Ten. So that's kind of cool.
All that's hard to figure,
Yeah. I will say this about that, and that's watching a little bit of that Northern Illinois Iowa simulation game that I was watching a little bit. They sure got Bolton being real speedy. I mean, everybody's kind of moving at a video game pace, and hear him just like, whew. It's like blinking, you missed him.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't like them simulation games, but he had over 100 yards in the first half and got hurt.
And then
LJ Phillips came in and he had over 100 yards in the second half. So,
maybe that's a sign of the times for the season. Everybody gets 100 yards.
I don't know, but that simulation game. I already talked to you about that simulation game. It was so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, they don't throw actual Iowa plays out there. There's no motion. I don't know how they set that up, if they just let the computer pick it or if they set the parameters,
I've heard Jason talk about it before, and he put up one last year, and I go, "That ain't the Iowa offense." And he goes, "That's because I picked the air raid." No wonder it didn't look like No wonder it didn't look like Iowa. They're throwing the ball 40 times. But
yeah. So, did you want to talk a little bit about? I want to give you some time to talk about the Lester podcast and the Barnett interview.
Yeah, the Lester podcast, which he's pretty loose-lipped, fun. He's always a fun interview. He ain't. I don't know if I've ever heard a coach interviewed, but a football coach. He doesn't really talk like a football coach. He just says everything. It's like he's saying this, and this, and I'm sitting there thinking, why are you telling our opponents this? But anyway, it was a great interview. Some of the things, if I can remember off the top of my head, was he was telling about how great our offense was. I guess he calls it the Green Bay offense. It's the
Niners offense.
It is, but he calls it the Green Bay offense because his last
stop was at Green Bay.
Yeah, and he never ran the offense since 2012 until he went to Green Bay for that 1 year. He could not run that offense when he was a head coach. They wouldn't let him. So he got back into it, and it's a little more modern, a little different than what he had the Shanahan playbook in the beginning, and it's a little bit different. So he calls it the Green Bay offense.
Okay, I got a question for you. Okay.
Yeah.
As a head coach, he wasn't allowed to run the offense he wanted to, and they wouldn't let him. Why is that? Any word on that?
It was part of his hiring at was it Western Michigan?
Yeah.
Where he was. That was part of, you can we're going to hire you as the head coach because he was one of their most famous alumni. But no, you're not going to bring the Elmhurst offense with you. You're not going to run that. You got to hire an offensive coordinator, and so that's what they did.
Okay, so at the beginning I didn't catch it, but these guys were a part of the team that Elmhurst played against when Lester was coaching them.
The
NFL, the
yeah.
By the way, how did they score a great interview like that? I mean,
well, they're very well respected young men. I mean, they'll do a breakdown of the Iowa-Oregon game before it happens, and then after it happens, and the Oregon fans love it. You know,
yeah,
that's how good these two twins are. You know, everything. But that's how they got Lester. Of course, Lester does a lot of podcasts. He sits down with Chad and other people too. A lot of podcasts. I'll say he does 3 or 4 during the off season. You know, this is his time off, and I guess he's going to do a second one with them. But some of the things he talked about the offense, how this is. So he said we don't run RPO, and he said this isn't an RPO offense. This isn't an air raid offense. Then he kind of threw the air raid under the bus. He said, I wouldn't run the air raid offense unless I was as low a level as like a high school coach or something like that. So he's not a big on the air raid.
Hear that, Jason? He's not big on the air raid, so don't set the Iowa team up to do the air raid.
I'm just saying what he said. I'm no expert. And obviously this is a great offense as far as setting up defenses, you know, and running the ball and passing the ball. He described a lot of it, how they bunch it together. He tells wide receivers when they come in, he was talking about Diaz, how it was miraculous to get Diaz, and he sets him down and shows him. He says, see how we got the defense all bunched? He said, how easy would it be if we had a guy who could run as fast as you to just go deep on the outside in that big, wide open space? And Diaz is like, yeah, sign me up, you know? If Vanderzee can go deep like he did a few times when he got single coverage on the outside, Diaz sure the heck can. And then he said how Gronk had to get healthy and get used to the plan. And he said all the quarterbacks, he says before the week of every game when they're putting in the game plan for the upcoming game, each quarterback on his roster, he asks them, okay, of the plays that we're practicing, what's your 3 favorite to run? And they tell him, and he puts on little cards those 3 plays, and he will go back to those plays. Because he said, my reasoning for that is that's the ones that they like, so they must be the ones that they're most comfortable delivering the ball on. Mm-hmm. So, and Hayden did the same thing. Hayden never talked to his quarterbacks during the season, hardly at all.
Well, but on Thursday, he talked to Chuck Long.
No, he didn't. Chuck and Matt Sherman and everybody has said this. On Thursdays after practice, because Hayden called the plays. He didn't coach the quarterbacks. He called the plays. And he'd call them in after practice on every Thursday, the starting quarterback, just the starting quarterback. He'd say, hey, Matt Sherman, what's your favorite plays we're practicing this week? What do you want to run? And Hayden would write them down. It wasn't just 3. It was more than that. And Hayden probably did it for the same reason, that, boy, the quarterback really likes this play. He's probably real confident that he can deliver. on that play. And he also told the story about when Bessinger come to visit Iowa City. It was for the Minnesota game, and they just blew out Minnesota. And he said in 2 games, he said Minnesota and Wisconsin, he said, I quit running my offense. I quit using more plays at halftime because we were so far ahead. And some of the fans that would hate Kirk would say, "Oh yeah, Kirk told him to just run the ball." And Lester says, "No, I didn't want to show any more plays that we have ready. I didn't want to show our future opponent, whoever we were playing, that we got more than that." He didn't want to coaches don't want to put it on film because then they scout for everything.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But anyway, Bessinger, after that evening, they looked at some of the film of the game, of the Minnesota game, and so on. He explained to Bessinger that second half I didn't want to show things, and then lo and behold, they go out to eat supper, and who calls but LaFleur, the coach at Green Bay, calls. It wasn't planned or anything, and Lester says, "Well, I'm kind of busy right now," and he goes, "Why are you busy tonight after the game?" And he says, "Well, in college you do something called recruiting. I got a big time quarterback here." And LaFleur says, "Well, tell him if you want to know how to run an NFL offense, there's one college to go to, and that's Iowa, because they're the only one that runs the Shanahan offense in college football." And so Lester put the phone, he said, "Well, you tell him that." And he turned the phone to the kid on where he could see LaFleur's face, and Bessinger's face just went, "My God, that's LaFleur, the coach of Green Bay." And LaFleur told him to go to Iowa. So that was a pretty good little story out of there. You want me to keep talking, or do you want to?
No, I want to catch up on some of these comments. Yeah, let's do some comments. Okay. Got to get back to them, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one we have up here is from Todd Spiker. Who do you guys think the starting QB will be? And from the sounds of things, it really won't make a big difference from what Vanderzee has said. Well, I don't think anybody knows. That's the key.
I don't think Lester and Kirk know. It's a competition.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it, from what Mark Rogers was saying tonight, along with the other guy, and I don't know who the other guy was. I've never seen him before. It sounds like that they expect this to go right into the season, the competition between the two. That's how close it is. Okay. Todd Spiker also says, "I'm excited to see Diaz and how much separation he can get from the D-backs."
I really think that in that first game this year, both quarterbacks will play. Kirk will probably say before the game, "Hey, both of them are going to play." That was
regardless of the score. Regardless of the score.
Yeah, I think they're that close that he'll say both of them are going to get a chance to play. And unless the guy that starts just tears it up, or one guy is so far ahead of the other one before the first game. That's what I'm kind of expecting, but I don't know.
Todd again has an interesting comment. There is a guy from Texas that I went to high school with at Union Witten that coached Diaz, and he said Iowa's getting a great one.
Obviously, Alabama thought so. So, anyway.
Okay. Here's Boy's comment. He just says, "You're right, Dino. Barta had no bells. No bells." Todd Spiker says, "I see them splitting halves." Yeah, in that first game, I don't know how they'll do it. I know that in the past, when Kirk has decided to play both quarterbacks, one will get one series and the other one will get the next series, and vice versa. And so there was one play a half. I would think that you can't just split the series up, like that. One series there, next series that, next series the other one. I think you got to let them play consistently and get into a rhythm. And so I hope it's more like, one sees the first half and one maybe sees the second half, something like that. And then unless in case the one in the second half isn't doing well, the first half one comes back out.
Yeah. We out of comments now, or?
Yeah, we're out of comments now.
Okay.
I think.
No.
Wait a minute. Yep, we're out of comments.
A couple other things that Lester pointed out was Wet Jet as a wide receiver. Just he improved while Lester was there, but he could never focus. He could never focus on a pass route. They tell him to do a 15-yard out, go down the field about 15 yards and out, and he'd run a 22-yard out. And the quarterback would throw the ball, and it looked like the quarterback was terrible when it wasn't the quarterback's fault. And then they'd give him a play where Lester called it cutting across the face of a linebacker. Is where when you're running towards the linebacker, but you cut across his face to catch the ball in the opening after you get past his face. And he said Wetchen would run down and just run right into the linebacker. And he just couldn't focus on that. So that's why he never really used his talent. He said other guys screwed up. He said that the year that Cade played at ISU, Cade probably played ISU twice, didn't he? We probably beat him bad the first time and the second time. And he said one time Cade is like, we called this play where Cade was supposed to roll to the right, like 6 steps, and throw it to the other side of the field. And the guy was wide open, and Cade runs 12 steps. Threw off the play, and then the guy wasn't open anymore.
Yeah.
And Cade ended up getting sacked. He said that was a big play in the game. And then he also said that, guys screw up, I guess. And then he said, we run an NFL offense. The first thing I look for, and he said this over and over again, the first thing I look for in a quarterback is not a runner. It's not this. It's not that. He said a natural thrower. He said, we run an NFL offense. I need an NFL arm. I don't know if Brown's got an NFL arm. I don't know. Brown's got the strongest arm, in the spring and stuff like that. But I think he was more talking about Bessinger might have that NFL arm.
What about Jimmy Sullivan, our current freshman?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just
which
Rick has a
Bessinger should be in Iowa City now, I think.
Yeah. Rick says, Rick, one of our co-hosts on this show, yelling 4 when playing tennis does not get the same result as does playing golf. Caitlin, I feel your pain. Have a good show. I'm taking it that Rick played tennis today and it didn't go too well for his back.
Oh, you got a bad
Rick,
back?
am I assuming correct?
Oh,
things started up again.
oh.
Okay, Boy says probably Heck unless he stinks it up.
Heck is my favorite, which I say every week, but I say I have no evidence why.
Yeah.
All I've seen is very few plays by either quarterback, and that little bit the spring game. I've seen every throw they make, but anyway.
So let's move on to the Barnett interview. I think that was with Chad Lysico, right?
Yeah. Can I say one more thing before we go on? I wanted to point out that the 14th and 15th are Media Day and Kids Day. Of course, it's the 14th and 15th of August. So
Yes.
everybody can mark that on their calendars if they want to go to Kids Day or look forward to the Media Day. So that'll be.
What is it? The Media Day's first on Friday, and then on Saturday's Kids Day.
Yep.
Okay.
That'll squish them together.
Oh, yeah.
It'll take a hell of a brain to remember all that. You know, all the player interviews, the coaches interviews, and then the next day you're going to be inundated by every throw of the quarterback and all that stuff.
Yep. Okay. Everybody will be scrutinizing which quarterback. Okay. Hey, talk a little bit about Barnett. I know that he, including myself, he was vilified by a lot of people because the offensive line wasn't doing as well as it could, and this year his boys grew up and won the Joe Moore Award. But so I have to take back what I said. It's just that these guys were too young, too inexperienced, and too green, because they were forced into a role what they weren't ready for.
Yeah, he didn't have the guys,
He didn't have the guys. Yeah. And now he has his guys.
He said one thing he said was we should have won the Joe Moore Award the year before too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
but we didn't have our reputation going into the season. It was like for a couple of years, the offensive line at Iowa just no good anymore.
Yeah.
And then we had this hell of an offensive line 2 years ago with Caleb Johnson and everything. But, we were a semifinalist, but we just didn't get over that.
Okay, I'm going to let you talk real quick. I got to go take some Tylenol. I'm not going to make it through the show. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, Barnett's started out telling his life story about when he was 14 years old. He lost his dad, who was his best friend, and he was the oldest one in the family, so he had to grow up real fast. He didn't take it very well, but he had to be the head of the household and help mom. And he said that right away, the coaches I had in football became very important to me as a young man. And he has taken that onward to every stop, and now he's at Iowa, where he feels like he's almost like the players that he's coaching, he's their second father, and he wants to make them better people. And he said Kirk's the same way, very, very developmental on and off the field. And he went through every single player in his offensive line and kind of told us where they were. He said Trevor Lout was so great last year, but he said his technique is what he's working on, and his legs being quicker, be able to run faster. And he said he was just so good last year because of his natural talent. And this year he'll be an even better offensive lineman with the technique. He says Leighton Jones at left guard will step right in. And he said, I don't know if he'll be Bo Stevens, because Bo Stevens was maybe the most outstanding offensive lineman last year, according to Barnett. But he won't be too far behind. And Pieper's been moved to center, which we've already talked about. He's already being talked about as top 15 to 20 in the first round of the NFL draft. The scouts are so high on him already. And he said if he don't work out at center, which he's doing fine, actually, he has fewer bad snaps in the spring than Logan Jones did. Logan kind of would struggle sometimes with snaps, especially shotgun snaps. And but he said if Pieper for somehow wasn't at center, whether he got hurt or something, he said we have plenty of guys. He said Cale Winter, who's a walk-on. I think he's a redshirt sophomore, which as Dean would term it, he's just a sophomore now because you got 5 years. But he said he has been great. And of course, everybody knows that Michael McSlinsky's healthy, and the coaches love him. Janowski, who had cancer last year, and he has the respect of the team. He's been playing really, really good too at center. And right guard, he lists McLinsky, Winters, Wilson, who's a transfer from James Madison, and everybody knows Allgaier. Kirk talked about him last year as a true freshman, that he was just a very talented young man. He would be a redshirt freshman. And I've been looking for Allgaier to start, but maybe Miss Linsky will, maybe Wilson will. I know the coaches love Wilson. So Barnett ran through them. Of course, his right tackle, he says Dotzler's definitely our right tackle. He said he almost beat out Lauk at left tackle last year, so that should tell you something. And he said, and then the big kid, Leonard, who's like 6'9" and weighs like 300 pounds, is the backup right tackle. He went through, he said Nolan and McCaslin are very, very impressive. They'd be redshirt sophomores. And I think them two can play guards or tackles. And then he went through the 5 great freshmen that everybody's so big on. The House of Parliament, Hudson Parliament's his name. He's the one that came in weighing 312 pounds. I think they've cut some weight off him, and he's practiced at center and guard and so on. He's a very physical guy. Barnett made the comment, none of these freshmen are going to play. He made the comment, he's very physical and dominating in high school. For 2 years, he was the player of the year in the state of South Dakota. But he said he is finding out that the physicalness in college is a step up. So he's learning that now I'm running into other guys that weigh 300 pounds, which and he said Reardon is very talented, much like Lauk. But again, he's young. And Witters and Linder, he likes them. The one that Carson Nielsen's the guy that looks so good. He's like 6'7" and weighs 295 pounds from Waterloo West. He's the guy that looks so great and moves so great. And he said he uses his hands very good, but he found out real quick in the spring that he is not physical enough, which I could tell that on his tape last year, that he did not get his pads down a good pad level and knee bend. In the offensive line and defensive line, you got to do that or you get sat on your rear end. And he will learn that, hopefully. And so you get too high and you get tipped over backwards. So that was Barnett's rundown. He said he just loves working for Kirk Ferentz. He loves his job. He thinks he has the offensive line set up just where he wants it now, where he's putting in, getting the players he wants. He likes offensive linemen that also play defensive line. And the kid he's getting out of Ohio this year, Newman, when we signed him, I thought, we're signing him as a defensive tackle because he was listed as a defensive tackle. But no, he's going to play offensive line. And after I found out he was going to play offensive line, I liked him a lot better. I didn't think he was anything stupendous as a defensive lineman. But
a lot of the smaller schools, they play both ways, both offensive and defensive. So
Yeah, he's not at a small school. He's at a school over in Ohio, but he's just good. He's their best defensive lineman at that school.
okay.
But that don't make you a all Big Ten defensive lineman, But he says he likes physicalness and character is the way he kind of sifts through the recruits he's getting. And he just is very joyous that one day a week, I think he said it's Tuesdays at practice. Kirk never did this before, but Barnett asked him one day, "Could you do me a favor?" And Kirk goes, "Well, yeah. What do you need, George?" And he said to Kirk, "Could you on the next day was Tuesday. He says, Tuesdays, could you work with my offensive tackles for 10 minutes during practice?" And Kirk got the biggest smile on his face that I'm going to get to coach the offensive tackles. And it's 10 minutes every week. But Barnett says you can depend on it that Kirk enjoys coaching them offensive tackles for 10 minutes each week in pass protection, pass pro. And Kirk is the best at it. And he said, Kirk never ends in 10 minutes. He said,
I bet he doesn't.
everything there is timed and the gun goes off when your 10 minutes is over. And Kirk doesn't pay any attention to the gun going off. He coaches him for another 5 minutes and everybody else waits for him to finish because you know why they do? Because he's the boss. So
Yep.
Anyway, I thought that was a cute story. And I sure am glad that Barnett's there. And he said he learned a lot from Reese Morgan, who's still there almost every day, even though he's retired. And when he first got to Iowa, some of the very best defensive linemen his line was going up against, he'd say to those kids, who recruited you out of high school? And they'd go, Reese Morgan. So he got as close to Reese Morgan as he can all the time, discussing what he looked for in high school kids. Because Reese Morgan was the offensive line coach for Kirk, and he was a defensive line coach too. So he said Reese Morgan, he said the two best talent evaluators he's ever been around is Reese Morgan, and now he said Tyler Barnes is the best in the country now. So that made me feel good.
And Tyler Barnes doesn't even actually coach.
No, but he can be on the field now.
Cool.
You can have as many helpers on the field as you want, but I don't know if he does anything except find talent and help decide how much money these kids are going to cost and how we should spend it. But
yeah. All right, I'm going to run the commercial one more time, and we'll be right back. Remember to get your cocaine coffee and get 50. Yeah, if anybody wants to try that coffee and you'll actually order it, come on here and give us a testimonial about how good it is. I'll be ordering mine pretty quick here. All righty. I want to move on And we're getting close to the end because I can't handle much more. I did forget to say that Cade Pieper is also preseason Walter Camp All-American.
I mentioned
athlon. Okay.
I mentioned that they had him at Walter Camp had him at center. So
yeah. Well, that's where I expect him to play this year. Okay. For the first time in I don't know how many years, Iowa and UNI will be wrestling a home-and-home series starting this fall. December 8th in the Dome.
Good.
And then the return date the following year has not been determined yet. But this is a surprise to me because I had on good authority from somebody who knew that Brands and the UNI coach did not like each other and did not get along. And the UNI coach, something about either Brands refused to wrestle UNI or UNI refused to wrestle Iowa, one of the two. So this came as a shock. So I'm going to go talk to that person who told me that and see what changed because I'm curious as to what changed. Did these guys kiss and make up because Brand says this is great for the state of Iowa and that the fans have been wanting this for a while? Yes, the fans have been wanting an Iowa UNI matchup.
Yeah. Maybe the rumor that was passed around before is like a lot of rumors. It just wasn't true.
It wasn't true.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, but this person knows. This person knows.
Yeah.
He used to wrestle for Schwab.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. One other thing I wanted to tackle was the baseball picked up another. I don't know if it's a tournament or a classic or what it is, but it's called Live Like Lou Las Vegas Classic Tournament, which will be March 5th through the 7th. They will play Arizona State, LSU, Oregon State. Those three schools for sure. And so I don't know if it's probably not a real tournament. It's probably just a round robin type thing where everybody plays everybody. But those are some pretty good schools to be up against. Iowa baseball will be tested early in the season.
You have to get your RPI up, and that's why you got to do it. So
yeah. Okay. That's about all I had tonight.
I got a three other things.
That's perfect. Let me go take care of this real quick. Alexa, turn off. It's driving me nuts. I think my wife set her alarm in it.
One thing was that the football recruiting, the NIL, had just went way up. 4 stars are costing you $350,000 now on average, a lot of them, and Iowa is not going to pay that. So that's one news thing. Another thing also from Lester's interview was when we played Washington his first year and we just blew them out. He told the A&F guys would not believe this. He said, we ran 3 rushing plays the whole game. And them guys go, no. And he goes, yep, it was the same 3 rushing plays, except we ran them out of different formations. And he said, you could sit there and watch the game and not know they were the same running plays. And he said that that's one of the secrets of the Shanahan offense. You run them out of different formations, and the player that you hand it to is the same guy, but he's in a different position on the field. He might be over behind the tight end. And he said it's so easy to change that. He'll just say to the quarterback, can you hand the ball off to him? And the quarterback will say, yeah, I'll figure it out. And he says if you change a passing play, everybody has to be on the same, everything's changed, the timing and everything. But changing a handoff is pretty simple. He said they run it 2 or 3 reps and the quarterback's got it down. And the A&F guys just could not believe that all them running plays, that we just ran all over Washington that day. And I'm sure a lot of them handoffs were to some guy named Caleb Johnson.
You
You know?
think?
Yeah. And the other thing was, I sent you a picture. The new Wisconsin athletic director.
I didn't even read about him.
You will not even believe who they hired.
Who did they hire?
They hired the stupid. I'm sorry. I have to get a drink.
Drink
They
that Sprite.
hired the stupid. We talked about it on the on 3 Swarm thread like all week. It's like they could not believe it that Wisconsin's about to hire former Nebraska AD. It's the Nebraska AD that fired the coach that was winning 9-10 games a year and announced at the press conference that when the reporter said, well, you just beat Iowa, and the guy said, well, who's Iowa? That ain't our goal to beat Iowa. And then the guy went along and I think he ended up hiring Scott Frost. That's, oh my God, Barry Alvarez got to be really pissed because this athletic director is terrible.
Yeah. Was Bo Pelini right before Scott Frost?
No, they after Bo Pelini, didn't they hire the guy from Oregon State for a couple years?
Okay. I can't remember because they went through so many coaches.
And then it was Frost.
Since we started playing them in the Big Ten. It's just like, how do you keep track of the coaches and what order they were in?
It's like, I can't believe that Nebraska, who was such a good football program all my life until like 2016. 15.
When they joined the Big Ten,
well, they
had a couple of decent years at the beginning of their Big Ten tenure, but after that, it was all.
Yeah, well, they were still averaging 9-10 wins a season for a long time there. But I know they had a 6-6 season in there or something. You probably can look it up. But I cannot believe that Nebraska turned into this in football, and I cannot believe that Wisconsin is turning into this in football. Getting rid of Paul Chryst, it really is almost equal to getting rid of Pelini.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You got this way of recruiting, way of playing, big offensive line, run the ball down your throat. Both of them programs did that. Live and learn.
Yeah. Speaking of Wisconsin, is Fickle's job on the line this year? Do you think it's win or go home?
Of course it's on the line, but he's got an easy schedule this year. Other than playing Notre Dame, a non-conference, it's way different. Last year he had a murderous schedule, but if they do not do good this year with all the money they threw at transfers and then this easier schedule, I don't know. I think I only had Wisconsin going 5-7 or 6-6, but most people have them winning 7 games this year.
I think I had them at 6-6 or somewhere around there.
I'm looking right now.
Okay. It is an easier schedule than they're accustomed to having.
Where the hell do I have Wisconsin at? Oh, I got them 6-6.
Okay.
I just don't have any. I don't have any. You can bring in transfers, but if you're not big physical, can they flip the switch in 1 year? I don't know. But
well, here's the deal. Okay, they come in and tried to do the air raid his first year. Realized that the air raid wasn't going to work with the personnel he had. They tried to go back to Wisconsin football, and that didn't work either because. I don't know. Are they still trying to play traditional Wisconsin football, or are they going back to the air raid? What are they doing?
Well, when they went to the air raid, the players that they had, the big running back they had, what he transferred, he didn't wait for him to switch back. he transferred to Michigan State. You know, their big center. I think their big center. I think he was the center for Indiana last year on their national championship team. You know, if you switch things, you lose that culture. You lose that roster you have. They decide, well, I'm going to go play where they run the ball. And then when you go back to running the ball, you don't have them guys there anymore.
No, but that was Fickell's problem. He should have stuck with the air raid and got his personnel, his people in there to run it. Instead, he tried to go back to a style of football that he wasn't comfortable coaching because he was an air raid guy.
But it's like Chuck Long said, he took the air raid to San Diego State, the Oklahoma offense, and he found out that if I didn't have the Oklahoma wide receivers that ran 4.25s and 4.3s, that offense didn't work.
Yeah, you got to have the personnel. You have to have the personnel.
I don't think when the hell is Wisconsin ever going to have a bunch of wide receivers that run 4.25 40s? I don't know.
Never. Just like Iowa never will.
Yeah.
All righty. I think it's time for us to wrap this up. I'm not going to last any longer.
I wish you felt better, Dean.
I know. Yeah. I know. It happens a lot. And so anyway, thank you guys for watching. We will be back Wednesday night. Our first 2 episode show in a month, I think. I think we've been averaging 1 episode a week for the last month.
Okay.
All righty. We'll come up with something. We'll do something. We'll have some fun. We'll do some preseason stuff. We'll do anything, but we're going to have a little fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I seem to do better on Wednesday nights than I do Sundays. I'm not sure why.
And I wore my favorite Hawkeyes shirt today.
Oh, I was wearing my Molly Davis shirt a little while ago.
Houston, she's a problem. Journey Houston, number 8. Number 8 on your roster, number 1 in Calvin's heart. So
there you go. All righty. Yeah, because she's from your area. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday night. And please share this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it out. Like. You know, the likes are really going up, and so I thank you guys for that. And let's see if we can get some views this week.
Yep.
I know it's slow time of year, but it's still a lot of fun to talk Hawkeyes. Okay, we're out. Go Hawks.